Welcome to Everything Football. The World Cup is now just 6 days away, so it's time to take a look at how my draft is looking like for match day one. There's definitely going to be changes. There's still a couple of players I'm not sure about, and there's still a couple of players I really want to get in, so we will be making changes. But as of now, this is how my team is looking like. So in terms of the goalkeeper, I've gone for Diogo Costa from Portugal. Now, if you don't play UCL Fantasy, this guy was absolutely incredible this season for FC Porto. And it's not just keeping clean sheets and making saves. This guy had 3 penalty saves. Yes, 3 penalty saves in the group stage. In only 6 games, he picked up 3 penalty saves. And if you do that at the World Cup Fantasy and you manage to keep a clean sheet and you make the saves as well, that could be a massive differential, because I'm not really expecting a lot of keepers to keep clean sheets. Most of the games will be high scoring and all that. There's a couple of groups that might be low scoring, but you really have to be lucky in terms of that. You might expect, for example, England's group with Iran and Wales and USA to be low scoring, but you end up having 2 2s and 3 2s. You just never know. But Diego Costa is here because of the saves. In case of any clean sheets, I should say, don't really expect him to have a lot of clean sheets. I still think like he has a very tough group in terms of Uruguay, Ghana, and South Korea. All those teams can definitely score goals, but he's a goalkeeper who can make saves. He can save penalties, and with VAR, penalties could be awarded, and hopefully Diego Costa can come through up against Ghana. I'll definitely not mind a clean sheet for sure, so he is my first pick in terms of goalkeepers. Next up, let's go to the defenders. Now, my first pick in terms of defense is Luke Shaw for England. Now, as I said, a lot of people are still expecting that group to be the one that is low scoring, and considering Southgate loves approaching the games defensively and he loves a clean sheet, England usually win 1-0 or 2-1. You rarely see them winning 6-0 or 5-0 like countries like Germany and nations like that. They will prefer a 1-0, and it's very possible in that group against Iran, USA, Wales. Despite me saying anything can happen, you still logically expect England to keep at least 2 clean sheets in that group. And Luke Shaw, he loves bombing forward. In the last couple of tournaments for England, he's looked really good, especially at the Euros last year. He scored a goal in the final against Italy. He scored a couple during the Nations League as well, so he's definitely not scared of scoring a goal. I've seen him score against Italy. I've seen him score against Germany, so he loves going forward on that left side. And if he starts with the back 5, that is absolutely magnificent. And you're looking for countries who will not concede more than 1 goal, because every 1 goal, after you concede a 1 goal, and the second one, the third one, the fourth one, you're going to get minus points after every goal conceded. So you're also trying to look for countries that are not going to concede more than 1 goal in a game, even if they do concede. And I think England is one of those teams, and Shaw is my first pick. Next up is I've gone for Estupinan of Ecuador. One, because I really want to have a play on that first day while I'm enjoying the first opening game of the World Cup, Qatar against Ecuador. And also we've seen him playing in the Premier League. He's looked really, really good in terms of going forward. And Ecuador, in the last 5 games, they've kept 5 clean sheets. So they don't concede goals at all. They do not concede goals at all. Now, the World Cup is different. They're going to play against the likes of Netherlands, so you would expect them to concede. But up against Qatar in the first game, I don't think that's a bad option to go for, especially if he can get a goal or something like that. He scored the winning goal against Nigeria in one of the matches he played recently. And a goal for a defender is 7 points. That is absolutely crazy. So if we can get that, a player who can score a goal in defense, that would be perfect. So Estupinan is my second pick. Joachim Mile, I'm sure you've had a lot of people talking about him. Denmark, in terms of qualifying, he played 9 games and scored 5 goals. For a defender, that is absolutely crazy. He has also scored like 8 goals in the last 20-something games. For a defender, that is nuts. Now, he played really well at the Euros last year, and Denmark are up against France, which is going to be tough. But in their first game, they're going to be playing against Tunisia, who don't love scoring goals. They love keeping clean sheets, but in terms of scoring goals, Tunisia is not the best. And also against Australia, you would expect Denmark to win that game. And even against France, they kept a clean sheet the last time they played against France a couple of months ago. So you don't be surprised if they finish that group with 3 clean sheets, and that game against France and ended like in a 0-0. So Joachim Mile is my third option in defense. And then Otamendi, simply because we've seen him playing really well for Benfica in terms of recovery points. That is not here for defenders, but clean sheets, very, very possible. He has an attacking threat as well whenever they get a corner. And Argentina against Saudi Arabia, I would expect him to keep a clean sheet in that game. After that, they will have Mexico and Poland. Now, Mexico is not terrible. Whenever it comes to the World Cup, Mexico are pretty good. I'm pretty sure I saw them beating Germany in the last World Cup, France back in 2010. So they're not a joke in terms of the World Cup. But I'm not sure how fit the likes of Jimenez are. I'm not. I have been watching Hernandez playing for LA Galaxy, but I want to see how we will do at the World Cup. If he gets picked, I'm pretty sure he has been picked. So let's see how it does. But Otamendi, good fixture against Saudi Arabia, opening game. They're on a crazy 35-game unbeaten run, Argentina. So yes, that midfield is indeed picked by me, but looking at it right now as I'm recording this, I'm not sure about it. So as I said at the beginning, there will be changes, and those changes will probably be in midfield. So first I have Kimmich, Germany playing against Japan. They also have Spain in that group too. Kimmich, considering they're giving points for a couple of key passes, points for a couple of tackles, I feel like Kimmich is one of those players who can do both. I've had him in UCL fantasy the last 4 seasons or something like that, and he always comes through with an assist here and there. He makes tackles in midfield. He also does get yellow cards, so he's not afraid to go in for a tackle. He does take a couple of free kicks for Germany too. He can take corners, and those key passes, those assists, those tackles, if he can get a goal as well, that is exactly what you need. And at his price, I don't think it's a bad option. So Kimmich is the first choice I have gone for. I can go for the other players like Sane, but they're more expensive. Rodrigo de Paul is my second option. Now, I have picked him because Argentina have a good fixture at the beginning, and during qualifying for this World Cup, he had 4 assists and a goal, which is not bad. And also because of the key passes and also the tackles, I feel like he can do both in midfield. But I'm not 100% sure about him at the moment. I can't lie to you. But at only 5 million playing against Saudi Arabia, I don't think that is the end of the world. But if I get any other midfielders that could do the job for me, I would definitely take out Rodrigo de Paul. But as of now, he is in my team. And then Phil Foden, because he is playing against Iran. They are the favorites in that group as well. And also because I don't have Harry Kane up front. Spoiler alert, I don't have Harry Kane up front. So that is why I've gone for Phil Foden just in case. England go on and score 4 or 5 goals against Iran. I'm hoping I do have one of their players. I thought about Bellingham, but he's playing deeper in midfield. Foden will play farther ahead if he starts. I thought about Saka. Some situations we find Saka playing at left wing back. I do not want my midfielder to play at left wing back. So for now, I have gone for Foden because the likes of Sterling and those kind of guys, Kane, are all expensive. And then Eden Hazard against Canada. I don't think that is going to be an easy group for Belgium at all. They're going to play against the likes of Canada, I think Morocco as well. I don't think it's going to be an easy group for them. But Hazard, this is not the Hazard from Real Madrid. This is the Hazard from Belgium. Yes, he might go 3 years without playing a game at Real Madrid, but for Belgium, he captains them and starts the game. So if he can do that and also take penalties, if Lukaku and those guys are not on the pitch, that would be perfect. I'm not sure about his minutes. That is why I'm saying I'm not sure about my midfield. I don't know how much he's going to be rotating with players like Trossard. Will he start and then play 45 minutes and then they're trying to save him because of an injury or something like that? So I'm not sure about that. But I think he will be a massive differential. A lot of people will go for De Bruyne and players like that. So if they decide to go crazy like the Belgium we expected in 2014 and 2018, and Hazard gets maybe a goal or an assist, I'd definitely be happy with that. And he also can pick up key passes. So that is another reason I have gone for him. I'll come to the other midfielder later on in the video. In terms of forwards, let's start with Lionel Messi. I know a lot of people will have Lionel Messi. And as I said, with Otamendi and Rodrigo de Paul, they're playing against Saudi Arabia, a team that lost 5-0 in the opening game of the 2018 World Cup against Russia. So being that Messi has been on form this season for PSG and Argentina themselves are on really, really good form. They're heading for 40 games unbeaten. They will be fired up. Probably his last World Cup. He might play in the next one, but that is the story for later. This one, I think he will explode in this one for sure. And I think he will start with Saudi Arabia, unfortunately. So Messi is my first pick and he will probably end up being my captain. Mbappe up against Australia. It seems like I'm just picking PSG strikers, but you would expect a lot of people to have this too. They do give points for shots on target. And Mbappe is one of those players who could be, is a bit greedy as people suggest. He will be shooting a lot and those are the kind of players we want at this tournament. Same with Messi. Messi takes free kicks, so even if he doesn't score, it's a shot on target if it hits the target, and he will be shooting from outside the box if he plays like in a number 10 role behind Diabalo or Lautaro Martinez, depending. And Mbappe as well, he can assist as well, the likes of Benzema, Giroud, whoever plays, and he has been on form alongside Messi at PSG this season. I had him in ECL fantasy for the entire campaign, and it's only like one match day that he blanked. All the others, he always delivered. So Kylian Mbappe is my other pick in terms of forward line. Maybe some of you not go for him. If we were sure about who was going to start between Giroud and Benzema, one of them will, even two of them would not be bad, but I think Mbappe is the one who's 100% going to start. And he also has the experience from 2018 World Cup. He became like the second teenager to score in the final after Pele. So good starts for him. He's very fired up. They're fired up in terms of retaining this trophy. So I have picked Mbappe. Next up, let's go to the bench players, the players who will be playing later on in the week and probably end up coming into my team after the subs. On the bench, I have Danny Ward of Wales as my goalkeeper. Again, a familiar asset for me because I've had him almost the entire season, probably the entire season in FPL. And in the last like 5-6 weeks, he has kept a lot of clean sheets for Leicester. So this is a trusted asset as of now. So I have him in my team because I do expect that group to be low scoring. So currently, I do have him. And then Sosa of Croatia, 3.5 million. A guy who already has 8 assists in the Bundesliga this season. He also has 2 attacking returns in the last 8 games for Croatia. He's up against the likes of Morocco. I don't think that is a bad option at all. 3.5 million. I've seen a lot of people asking if he's a good option in the comment section, and all is definitely a good option, especially if he starts. There's a couple of mamas that he might not start, so that is a bit of a concern. But as of now, I have him in my team, 3.5 million. And then obviously it would be crazy not to go for Brazilian players. That would be absolutely crazy. So Neymar is in my team at the moment. I might even end up with the second one because despite them having kind of a tough group with Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon, I feel like Brazil are going to win their games. It's not going to be 0-0. It's going to be like 4-2s, 4-3s. So that is why I'm avoiding their defense as well. And then Granit Xhaka is also a trusted asset. I'm obviously wearing an Arsenal shirt, and Xhaka has had a great season, and he loves getting forward for Arsenal this season, and he does it for Switzerland every time as well. So if he can strike from outside the box and get a shot on target and all that, key passes, I think he could be a good option as well. And free kicks as well, if the likes of Shaqiri let him take. That is my bench for now. So I will be making changes for sure, as he said, and there will be changes to this team for sure. We will have a final team selection later on this week, but for these 15 players, quite sure that I will have at least 11 of them in the team, or maybe even 12, but maybe 3 of them will be switched around. But like 3 players here, I can tell you that are definitely going to be there. Neymar is definitely going to be there. Messi is definitely going to be there. And probably Estupinan is definitely going to be there. Some, like Xhaka, might end up leaving. Hazard might end up leaving, but I will do more research and then I'll give you guys my final team. As always, if you want more videos, you can become a member of the channel. The link is in the description. Let me know how your team is looking. Which changes would you make to my team? Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.